Me. Just leave me alone. Triggered EM. Hello everyone, my name is Mace, and welcome to r/entitled parents. Today we have 3 stories about entitled mothers doing entitled mother things. If they didn't do entitled mother things, then this wouldn't be an entitled parents video, now would it? That's lame. I'm keeping it! Lame intros out of the way, let's get started. This story is called, EM Wants Me to Move, Away from My Mom, on Plane so she can have an extra seat, by A Name That Isn't. On mobile. Backstory. Was on a plane back from vacation. My mom and I sat in a row of 3 and had a spare seat. EM wanted me to swap with her so she can get 2 seats to herself while I would sit with her husband and kid. Cast. EM, curly hair, fat but not obese, that special type of, I'm on a cheap flight, but I'm better than all of you, genus. Mom, my mom, me. I fucking cringe so much when people go, oh, don't know who that is. Haha, you know who, teehee. Off, it's me. FA, the most useless tit I've ever met, flight attendant. So, we were in the air, the seatbelt sign was off, and we were free to roam around. The flight had a couple spare seats from what I can see, including the one next to me. My mom and I booked the middle and window seat, but I moved to sit in the aisle so we would have more space. The woman sat in front, EM, continuously whipped her head around to stare at me for a few seconds. I tried to ignore her, but it was fucking weird. After 20 minutes of her turning around to stare at me every few seconds, she eventually tapped me on the head. She tapped me on my head by reaching over the seat. EM, excuse me? Her tone was very severe. Me, yes, hi? I was very tired and tried to be polite. EM, swap seats with me. She maintained eye contact the whole time. I took a few minutes to respond because I was just dumbfounded. Me, I'm with my mom, I'd rather not. EM, you got a spare seat. I want to spread out and relax. Swap with me. Me, no, please leave me alone. EM, that's not how you speak to an adult. She got a little loud, enough to turn heads and disturb my mom, who asked if I was okay. EM, swap with me. I need to sit there, and you can sit next to my child. You can play with him. The child looked around 5. I am 18. Me, please leave. EM, move right now! This turned everyone's head, made me so embarrassed, and was loud enough to summon a flight attendant, mid-30s male. FA, is everything alright here? He spoke directly to EM, completely ignoring me. EM, that boy won't move. He's got 2 seats to himself and he... My mom interjected, loudly, at this point. Mom, I actually have 2 seats to myself, both of which I paid for. I was sitting in the aisle seat, which we had not booked. The EM didn't respond to my mom. I think she was intimidated. FA, well, I'll see what I can do. He then turned to me, who had been listening and present the whole time. FA, this woman is asking if you'd be able to swap with her so that she can have more space. Would you mind? Would I mind? Me, no, I don't want to swap. EM erupted. She started yelling at me, calling me a brat, calling me selfish. My mom was shouting at her back, and honestly, I was struggling not to laugh at EM because I noticed how her chin shook as she shouted. The FA during the argument shrinked away, just backed off and f***ing left. EM, realizing she was making a fool out of herself, "Fine! Selfish f***ing brat!" She sat back down and swung her seat back as much as she could, which was fine because it was literally a couple of inches and I had plenty of space. My mom asked if I was okay and if I wanted her to make EM move. I said it was fine. EM started making huffing sounds. I ignored her, put in my earphones, and the rest of the flight was fine. When we landed, EM made sure to get up like a rocket and block the walkway so I couldn't get out of the aisle. I, however, was feeling petty. I stood up, shuffled over, and said, "You don't mind, do you?" Then barged into the walkway in a way that looked accidental. She stumbled into someone else who promptly launched her back into her seat. It was hilarious, like watching a ping pong ball. She didn't move after that, and we got out of the plane and never saw her again. Alrighty, I'm happy for you and all. I'm glad you got to keep your seat, but you ruined me. You ruined me specifically because I had a repressed memory that was brought back when you mentioned the shaking of her double chin. You know what memory that was? It was of this. This is what I've been repressing. It's disturbing. It's hilarious. It haunts my nightmares. I hope you're happy. This story is called EM Wants Me to Make a Game Appear. Make Cops Appear Instead by Bleep2112. A little backstory about me. I worked at GameStop for off and on 5 years. So I had to deal with a lot of entitled parents, and of course, a lot of parents that knew nothing about how games work. This is a story that I will always remember. Cast: me, EM, CH, confused husband, EMK 1 and 2, embarrassed kids. So, I don't know how many of you guys are big Nintendo fans, but around the time Fire Emblem Birthright and Conquest came out, there was a bit of an issue. Nintendo was releasing limited edition 3DSs, as well as limited editions of the game that came with both titles all in one cartridge. Nintendo rarely does limited editions like that, so it was a very hot commodity item among collectors and Nintendo fans. However, similar to when Nintendo did the Majora's Mask Special Edition, they actually oversold, so a lot of people were getting their money refunded and their orders canceled. I understand people were upset about this, but at a retail level, there's nothing we can do. Story time. I'm working at the GameStop in my mall the day after Christmas, which is normally filled with a bunch of gift cards and returns. I'm expecting it to be a hectic day, but all in all, not too bad until roughly noon. I see this mom that is about the size of 3 of me, a dad, and 2 kids roughly 10 and 12. The mom comes in with a gift card and wants to put money down on her Fire Emblem Special Edition. I look in our computer system and tell her that unfortunately Nintendo oversold the product, add that her order was canceled, however, she can still get her money back, and our district manager even told us to give them roughly 10% off the game if they wanted to order the standard editions. EM slams her fist on the counter so loud that the store went dead silent. Everyone in the store was staring. EM: "I ordered this game 4 months ago!" Me: "I'm sorry, ma'am, but unfortunately Nintendo just oversold the product. It's nothing on our end. We can still order the regular edition, or if not, we can refund you your money." EM just plummets to the floor in hysterical crying, screaming, "It's not fair! It's not fair!" And I am just sitting here, just trying not to laugh and very confused while she, a roughly 40-year-old, 300-pound woman, is throwing a tantrum in the middle of a store. The CH picks her up, both confused and embarrassed. He grabs EMK 1 and 2, pulls her up, and slinks away. I was hoping that was the end of it. Until 2 hours later. She barges back into the store, cuts the line, and demands a manager. Luckily, the woman she was talking with was the manager, and she screams about how she called corporate and they said that they were legally obligated to sell her the game. Again, it wasn't an issue of not wanting to sell it, it was an issue that there wasn't going to be enough to cover all the orders. She was not happy with this response. Claims all of us are going to get fired, and for good measure, she knocks over a standing tower with a bunch of display cases on it. This was enough for security to get involved. During the confrontation, one of my coworkers went to the back and called security and caught her right as she was leaving the store. She was detained and my district manager was told what was going on and came down. She was charged with disturbing the peace and damage of private property. That was a fun Christmas.
Yes, manager, I just spoke to your corporate office, and they say that you're legally obligated to sell me this game.
I'm sorry, ma'am. It's not that I don't want to sell you the game, it's that we do not have enough to offer to the public.
That's it, I'm triggered. Cover your ears, folks, it's about to get loud.
This story is called EM Tries to Touch My Shit, Gets Served by the Shrimp Boy. You know the cast. I like to go to the park to do skate tricks sometimes. I just skate around the park, do some jumps, nothing fancy. I had just gotten coffee and was sitting on a bench listening to music. I left my board on a bike rack about 10 to 15 feet away. It's a great board, covered in stickers. It's my favorite out of the 2/3 I own. I see a woman and her kid walk by. The woman didn't look like a stereotypical Karen. Her kid was maybe 10 or 11. She was just walking past, I sat there, no interaction required, right? Wrong. I look over and see her holding my board. I get up, walk over. Me. Ma'am, can you please put my board down? EM. EK wants to ride it, so I'm letting him. Me. Ma'am, that's my board, and you don't say who uses it. EM.
You probably stole it, you delinquent. Now shut up and let EK use it. He gets better grades than you anyways.
I would like to think I'm smarter than a 10-year-old. Me. I would say yes, but I don't think it's safe. EK can get hurt. EM.
EK has a bike. He can ride your silly skateboard. He's mature for his age anyways.
At this moment, I had a revelation. I can use this. Me. You know what? I believe in EK's maturity. He can ride the board. Just wear a helmet.
EM. I'm not stupid. I'll make him wear the helmet.
How ironic. EK stands on the board with both feet parallel facing forward. Super wrong stance for non-skateboarders. EM pushes EK way too fast, and EK falls backwards onto the grass. The skateboard flies forward and hits a tree. The kid is fine. EM.
What did you do to my baby?
Me. I told you it wasn't safe.
EM. I'm taking this. It's dangerous.
EM starts running over to the tree that my skateboard crashed into. I basically walk there. She is a really slow runner and pick up the board. EK had taken off my helmet after he fell, so I walked over and picked it up. I just left the park. I hope I never see this again. I just have this image of this lady trying to run over to a tree that's like 10 feet away, and she's huffing and puffing, and you're just like, lady, try a treadmill, and she's like,
shut up! I'm trying the best I can!
And you're just like, lady, please, you're embarrassing yourself. She just sort of falls over and is like,
shut up!
And you're like, okay. Sort of grab your board, do a trick over her collapsed body as you leave the park. When you're just nearly out of earshot, you're just like, Do you want me to get you an ambulance? You sort of get a response that's just like, give me a hot pocket, I need a strength. Oh no, it's the end of the video. But I was hoping we can hang out a little more. Well, you know, I do have some other videos that you can watch. Shameless plugs aside, thank you all for watching. Thank you to our posters for sharing your stories. Links are below. If you want to keep up with me, follow me on my social medias somewhere on screen. And don't forget to let me know how I did in the comments. Thank you all for watching, and I wish you a wonderful day.